See, I thought Sam and I were doing news today, so I prepared a rather ostentatious T-shirt, because he's had some brilliant T-shirts lately. Look at this, right? It's a Rubik's Cube. Do the thing.
Oh, it's a bit... Look at that. Wow.
I know.
Wow.
Hours of fun.
I'll pretend to be Sam if you want.
Go on, then.
It was sad. Tattoos. That's an accurate depiction of Sam there. Slightly moodier than I am, and with tattoos.
Talk about New Japan as well.
New Japan's the best.
There you go. It's like he's here. It's amazing. Anyway, you're here, which means it is time for wrestling news.
I don't think he's like that.
I think he will. He'll be fine. WWE have passed on a perfect fit for NXT. An AEW World Title match is set for All Out 2021, and a former Impact champion has made their AEW debut. Find out who in a little bit. The moving and the shaking of NXT has been a big talking point this week. There seems to be Vince McMahon and co. putting more hooks into the product going forward. A mandate sent out for a certain type of wrestler to be a part of the show. And there was talk from Fightful, so thank you to Sean Rossap for this one, who said that there was at the last tryouts, there were some, quote, slam dunks who took part in the tryouts who were still a surefire for NXT. And the fact that they were passed on was kind of the first red flag that things were afoot. And we can reveal this morning who one of those slam dunks in question was that got passed on.
Who is that Pokemon?
It would only... It's Pikachu! It's Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta. That's how he talks if he was a Pokemon. They just say their names over and over, don't they?
You might be wondering who Wheeler Yuta is if you don't know him by name.
Oh,
and he is the guy who's been rocking it with the best friends, doing all kinds of good professional wrestling on AEW. Because you see, he's not quite Trent, but also he's been trained by Chuck and Trent and Orange, hasn't he? Or something. That's the link.
Was it him that beat Sammy Guevara recently?
Maybe. That rings a bell, Tom.
He's a really talented guy. He's done stuff around the indie scene. He was part of WXW as well. And he's just a well-travelled, really decent pair of hands, some of it that's got a big future ahead of them. And you look at him...
Crucially, he's not that tall.
No.
And he's not that wide.
And he may not main event WrestleMania. He could, I don't know. But he was... But in times gone by... Wheeler Yuta would have been a shoo-in on NXT. It's certainly Triple H's and Shawn Michaels' vision of NXT. So the fact that they had this tryout and they saw Wheeler Yuta and went, nah, that was the first warning sign to a few people that, this is going to change.
Yeah, as we're sat here currently, we're all just sort of putting the pieces together from reports like this from Fightful Select with Dave Meltzer over the weekend saying that there was a mandate sent about. Nothing's been confirmed as of yet, and that's the hope. That's the light at the end of the tunnel. That hopefully won't be blocked out by the
size of the brand new roster.
Yeah.
The size of 37 Mason Ryans all walking towards you.
Because I know, obviously you've got to have the Vince McMahon's well-muted sort of, airport thing where you see a guy walking through an airport and go, ooh, what does he do for a living? He's big. But I don't think that needs to be done. I know wrestling better than Vince McMahon. We all do. We're fans. As long as you get professional wrestling, you've got charisma, you're a safe worker, but more importantly, just get professional wrestling. Doesn't matter what size you are. Surely.
It's one of those where it's so interesting how in WWE, and this has been the case for the longest time, that wrestling really is sort of the least most important thing on the docket for you. Do you look the part? Are you big? Do people double take you in an airport? I could wear a chicken outfit as an airport, and they go, what does he do for a living? What's he doing to the Impact Zone Maggle? But wrestling is so far down the totem pole of that, and it sucks because this is a wrestling company. So It's all great to have those guys that really catch your eye, and then when you watch them, and they don't do very well.
But more news from Sean Rossap, by the way. He will be on Straight to Hell this Sunday on the Cultaholic Wrestling Show channel.
Look at you two getting close, you and Sean Rossap.
I'm in there. Denise was on there a couple of weeks ago. Sean's on there this week. Got friends, me.
Yeah.
Friends for days.
I'm in there with you, Sean Rossap. Definitely. Who is running NXT now? That's the question. So PW Insider have said that despite all the work and the work and the scuttlebutt that's going on, it is still Triple H running the ship. He's still guiding NXT for the time being. I thought it was an interesting little note to put in because Triple H was, from all reports, sort of left out of the cold of all the names that were released. I can't help but feel, I mentioned this on the news yesterday, that Triple H may be about to move on to something else or step into a different role, because this Adam Cole-Kyle O'Reilly match that they've booked for TakeOver 36 feels like the end of an era, in the sense that it's possibly Adam Cole's last match in NXT, and it is the same stipulation that Triple H and Steve Austin had at No Way Out 2001. It's a 3 stages of hell match. It's a singles match, then it's a street fight, then it's a cage match. I can't help but feel like this is sort of like Triple H's signature. You know how Jason Derulo starts every song with Jason Derulo,
yeah.
So you know it's a Jason Derulo song, and how Pharrell has that very distinctive 4-bar beat. I think this is Triple H sort of signing off on NXT with that.
It's interesting,
That's just a hack theory.
Because you always just assumed that Triple H was in charge of everything. He was like a football manager. He signed all the players, all the wrestlers. He dealt with all the bookings for the Americans. I've learned that. I can't say that word properly and Americans get confused by it. Bookings.
It sounds like you're frightening royalty. Bookings!
But now, it would appear that Triple H is more of a head coach. Those above him deal with the signings and the releases and whatnot, and he's just there to coach the talent, book the shows, and make them better. You know what I mean? It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing what's going on with Triple H at the moment.
AEW All Out is getting booked, and we dropped this in the last news video. I was going to use it as a little news thing here. You may have heard it, and if so, kind of coat to you. AEW Championship will be defended at All Out. Kenny Omega putting it up against Christian Cage.
He will. Cage will fight for the Impact title on Rampage tomorrow before getting his crack at the AEW title in the first week of September.
Do you remember?
Does that make sense?
Yeah. He's doing the Impact title, and then we did the whole thing.
Wake up, Ross, it's early.
In the last one. Also, Andrade El Idolo versus Pac. That'll be a belter.
It will be a belter. Will it be a limo off? Just like a Monster Trucks from Halloween Havoc 95, but with limos? Because that's been the crux of the feud so far, is the transport from the airport to the arena. And Andrade in certain limos, which, by the way, if you don't know, you commoners, are big, long cars. I like that bit where he explains what a limo is.
This is a logistics deathmatch.
We don't have them here in Newcastle, therefore Pat gets confused.
I feel like they should lean into the Geordie aspect of this a little bit more by having Andrade win the match, take over Death Triangle, and then privatise it. To which Pac then goes, "Oh, I'm not doing that, lad," and then gets down the pub at 11 o'clock in the morning and starts
down with Thatcher.
and then Franco Del Sol joins Death Triangle, and he stood next to Dave's place going, "Scab, scab, scab, lean into it." And then Pac's son is a ballet dancer. That's what we'll do.
Hey, if anyone could play Billy Elliot,
I can't really explain it.
Imagine Pac as Billy Elliot.
I can't really explain it. I haven't got the words. It's a feeling that you can't control. Another AEW show is premiering next month. Rhodes to the top. It's the story of the greatest baby faces in all of wrestling.
Can't wait.
And Brandy Rhodes.
God, there's not enough of Cody, is there? He loses one match and he's like, "I'm gonna retire." Get off me stream, Cody. I've had enough of you. Yes.
So awesome.
The reality show starring Cody and Brandy Rhodes will premiere on TNT in September. Warner Media announced this afternoon that the 1-hour series premiere will take place on September the 29th at 10 p.m. ET, following that week's episodes of Dynamite. 10 p.m. start time could get a bit raunchy.
Oh, look at my car. Look at my trousers. Gonna take them off and have a lovely time. Cody's he said to the presser, "I haven't got a bad bone in my body." He's the best heel they've got.
He doesn't know it though, does he? He doesn't know it.
He doesn't care to know it either. Fine Alamo, a little bit of news from AEW Dark. A former Impact star has rocked up in the company. Great to see one former Knockouts tag team champion, Kiera Hogan. She was in action against Hikaru Shida. We will see that on Dark Elevation next week. Big fan of Kiera Hogan's.
It was, yeah. That was her first appearance outside of Impact Wrestling since that last month thing that happened last month.
Yeah,
there,
it's a weird one. So on her OnlyFans, she said, "Right, I've just done some tapings for Impact and I'm done now. Thanks." But their tapings are still running. So in terms of the Impact timeline, she's still there.
She's done a Rick Rude.
she's kind of done a Rick Rude, but then everyone in AEW and Impact are doing. I think it's not so much a Rick Rude. This is more, we're seeing a Kira Hogan variant on Dark Elevation. So the TVA, no doubt, are going to interfere in that match and sort that nonsense out immediately. Please do another series of Loki. I really enjoyed it. More news as we get it at cultaholic.com later today. Anything else we're plugging?
Bumholes? I don't know.
Depends what we have for tea the night before. Just be asking for trouble. Subscribe to the podcast.
Sam will be on Twitch later. Sam's had his second jab today, so I assume no side effects. He'll be on Twitch later on today.
Presumably no. Or he might stream the side effects. That might be fun as well. Twitch.tv/Cultaholic. Have a great Thursday. Stay safe.
Love you, bye. Love you, bye.